Hello there. Don't I have some special treats for you today? Enjoy. The initial reason for the revenge happened in 2013, but the revenge only happened in 2017. I'll keep everything vague as not to be recognized. For context, back in 2013 I was a graduate student pursuing my master's degree. That was my last year in the program. We had 24 months to finish all the work in the dissertation. My advisor was professor who was very well known and experienced on my field of work. Let's call her Janet, fake name. Janet and I had worked together with research since my college days as I became part of an undergraduate research with her. At that point we had been working for about 4 years, and as any advisor-student relationship we more had our disagreements quite often. Janet was used to doing her experiments a certain, archaic, way. I knew there were better uses of our grants money and always tried to push toward a more advanced method, especially correlating data collection and statistics. However, our relationship was always good. I knew her husband and had been to her house numerous times. She was a little set on her ways, but we managed to make good progress on our field. Anyhow, by the end of 2013, I presented my dissertation to the department and was approved with flying colors. My data still wasn't published in any paper as I wanted to have more analysis in different areas to make a more robust and better paper. With that said, my dissertation was published, and by all reasons that is my work and my experiments. After I got my MS, I decided to pursue a PhD. While I was still going to work in the same field, I wanted to use different techniques and thus talked with Janet about going to pursue a PhD under a different professor in another university. She always encouraged me to do better and look for ways to diversify my views. I went ahead and contacted a professor outside my country in another university to pursue my PhD. I got approved and soon moved away. For the next 2 years I still kept contact with Janet, but on the third she stopped responding. Initially I thought she had changed her email or something, but didn't think much of it. Time flew by, and in 2017, while reading papers and writing my own, I came across a paper that was strangely similar with my research. Interested in it, I opened it up to read. For my shock, it was a paper by my ex-advisor. She was up as advisor and another guy, who from his curriculum is her current master's student. Reading the title I thought, hey, that's neat. She continued researching it. But boy, I was wrong. Reading the paper I got increasingly angry. That wasn't a new research. It was my research. My data was all in that paper, even my graphs and tables. Initially I thought, oh well, she's also an author and if she is citing it, there shouldn't be a problem. But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. My name was nowhere near that paper as they claimed that research is original. Now, I was livid. I sent an email to Janet confronting her, which was never replied to. However, I am not a pushover and will never allow people to claim my own work as theirs. She made a mistake by using my data. I'm a researcher and I keep everything I ever worked on saved in external SSDs, encrypted and on my own possession. All cataloged with date entries, and even had my own dissertation to prove my work. In my country, research is financed by the governmental grants. I wrote an email to the dean of the grants institution, explaining all the situation, with proof of everything. I also sent an email to journal in which that was published contesting their paper and explaining everything. It didn't take longer than 15 days for me to get a follow-up. The institution responsible for the grant was furious. They cut all financial aid for her and her student, and made a formal requirement to the university requesting her immediate termination. The journal retracted the paper and is now suing her for plagiarism. Now, after all these years, I learned that she was indeed fired and haven't been able to work in the field ever since. I never met her again and have no intention of ever doing so. Now, my work is published and I'm recognized by my contributions in the field. Maybe that was a petty thing to do. But I couldn't allow people to get away with claiming my work as theirs. This post also could fit into our /entitled parents, because of the entitled dad, but my revenge is too sweet for that subreddit. To give you some background, I'll tell you some things that will be important later. My ex-girlfriend loves her dad, entitled dad. She isn't even bothered by the fact that her entitled dad abandoned ex-girlfriend and her sister when she was 5 years old and her sister 3. Entitled dad cheated on my ex-girlfriend's mother, a sweet and caring woman, with a random affair. After that came out, he divorced and moved to New Zealand. I live in Germany, so it's literally the other side of the world. Entitled Dad left his children behind and moved to the other side of the world because he cheated on his wife. After he moved, Entitled Dad kept contact with ex-girlfriend and tried to manipulate her into thinking that her mother, that sweet and caring woman, is a bad person and that he is so much better. Entitled Dad doesn't even care about ex-girlfriend, everything he does is to hurt ex-girlfriend's mother. He wants to break her and uses her daughter as his weapon. I know all that, because ex-girlfriend's little sister got sick of Entitled Dad's bullpoop as she got older. She told me everything about him and what he tried to make her mother look bad. My ex-girlfriend's best friend, since the childhood, is also a friend of mine and told me stuff, too. And I got to meet him personally, but later more about that. The manipulation, however, seemed to work on my ex-girlfriend. She is so delusional about Entitled Dad, that she literally said things like, "He's the best father in the world," or "He is always there for me." Yeah, I'm always there for you on a Skype call twice a month. I tried to not speak about Entitled Dad with my ex-girlfriend, because as soon as someone tried to show her what kind of a person he is, she feels attacked and got pissed and aggressive. All of her friends and family hates Entitled Dad and tried to talk to her, but same reaction. The months went by and ex-girlfriend finished her school. The Abitcher, I think it's like high school in America, it allows you to go to a university. She decided that she wants to spend a year in New Zealand, to stay with her dad for a few months and then do work and travel. I was out of my mind when she told me that. I knew her dad manipulated her into that and that this was his idea. Everyone tried to talk her out of it, in fear she would not return for 2 years, because she said that Entitled Dad mentioned that if you stay for 2 years in New Zealand and have a relative as legal citizen, you get a visa and can live and return there whenever you want. I checked it and as far as I understood it is a legit fact. Well, at least one thing Entitled Dad didn't lie about. But you already guessed it, she wanted to move to her dad and said things like, "I'll never be happy if I don't do it," and stuff like that. I mean, yeah, go see your father and do work and travel, but we all knew her well enough to see that if she's there she will stay. Probably longer than 2 years, because Entitled Dad is able to manipulate her into anything. It's ducking mental abuse. Of course, Entitled Dad called her many times a week all of a sudden and told her how great it will be and bullpoop like that. Then he told her that he will be there when she gets her testimony and on her graduation party. In my head I thought about many ways to just get rid of him when I heard the news, but I came to the conclusion that I couldn't do much. I'm sure he only flew over because he wanted to make sure that ex-girlfriend does not change her plans and to make ex-girlfriend's mother sad and angry. She sometimes cried at night when Entitled Dad was a topic at the dinner table. So yeah, she really is done with him. The big day came and I saw him for the first time. I saw pictures before, but only his face, a small, smudgy looking guy. He was wearing jeans and an ugly yellow, white striped shirt. But his shoes were like cowboy boots but only ankle high. He looked like a mirror of his personality. There are too many stories with Entitled Dad at the graduation party, which are not really relevant for the revenge, but I include them as a little extra. Let me make you hate this guy even more. When ex-girlfriend got her testimony, ex-girlfriend's mother was crying in joy, because she did everything for her daughter and it was such a big deal for her, that ex-girlfriend got her testimony. Entitled Dad, however, came out of the building, saw the scene, rolled his eyes and went inside again to flirt with the single moms. He married again in New Zealand BTW. I had to calm down, otherwise I would have killed this little poophead. Second story shows how important Entitled Dad thinks he is. Ex-girlfriend's mother has a new partner too, and Entitled Dad met him at the after-show party. Entitled Dad talked in perfect German with everyone at the party. When Entitled Dad introduced himself to the new partner, he spoke in English. "Hi, my name is Entitled Dad and I'm from New Zealand, nice to meet you." My God, yes, we get it, you cheated on your wife and moved to the other side of the world. Now finally the revenge. I talked hours with my ex-girlfriend about our relationship and that I couldn't do a long-distance relationship for longer than a year. And it really is that way. I'm not made for that. She promised she only wanted to stay for 9 months. Half a year with Entitled Dad and 3 months work and travel. She said that she has a ticket booked for in 9 months and showed the email to me. She also gave me full permission to her German bank account, where her father pays monthly €200 child support to her. She also would transfer money every month as soon as she gets work in New Zealand to have a head start as soon as she returns. Fast forward 9 months later. Over the last months I tried my best to keep the relationship alive. The hardest thing to deal with was the time zone difference. She reached out to me and said I want to have 1 or 2 months more with my dad. I couldn't believe this. We screamed at each other on the telephone. But in the end, I could wait 2 months more. She asked me to postpone her ticket and I did. Later that month I saw on her bank account that almost €300 were gone. After a little bit of research I found out it was a bill for postponing her flight ticket. A little idea came into my head. I would not tell her anything about that. And for every month she further breaks her promise, she'll have to pay. But that's not all. A few weeks later I was looking through Instagram and looked through ex-girlfriend's followers. One guy had a profile picture with my girlfriend in it. His profile is public and then I saw the picture. Him kissing ex-girlfriend with the caption 4-month anniversary. I lost my poop. She met a new guy and makes me wait because she wants to have somebody over here she can always return to and who manages all her stuff. The idea of costing her hundreds of euros every month is too good. Well, too bad I have the total control of your bank account. I now knew she wouldn't come home anytime soon. I faked the relationship. I acted like everything is fine. And it wasn't really too hard. Every evening I write my mother how my day was and stuff like that. It makes her happy and is no big deal for me. So I just changed hello mom to hey babe. And send ex-girlfriend the same text every evening I sent my mother before. I basically cut contact, told her I have a new job and have to go sleep early. Everything for my revenge plan. I simply postponed the ticket every month. Lived my life and had no trouble at all. The first year went over and she already lost €3,600. But it just gets better. I broke up with her, confronted her with the affair and said she could stay where she is. I didn't want to spend much time on the breakup because it was over a year ago for me. I however hoped she would forget about her bank account, that I have all the permissions for it. And she sure did. Another year went by and another €3,600 are just gone. Do you remember ex-girlfriend's best friend? She called me one day and asked me why I have stolen thousands of euros of ex-girlfriend's bank account. That ex-girlfriend gave her sister all the permission over the bank account and that only a couple of €100 would be on the account. I told her that I postponed the flight every month, because ex-girlfriend didn't said otherwise. I also told her that ex-girlfriend cheated on me and everything else. Ex-girlfriend's best friend was pissed. She told me a few days later, that ex-girlfriend told her that the money was for a new car for her dad and that he did so much for her so that is the least she could do. Ex-girlfriend's words. Entitled dad had the idea, and of course ex-girlfriend's delusional but thought that it'll be a great idea. All the money he had to pay for her. Entitled dad paid every month, but only because he knew he would get back all the money anyway for a new car. When he found out that all the money was gone, entitled dad had a big argument with ex-girlfriend and she had to move out. Entitled dad kicked her out and she had to see how she would manage her situation. Well, I can tell you, she does not have any backup money. She lost €7,300. And her sister legally took the rest of the money on the bank account and closed it. No more money from Germany. No more money from entitled dad. No more friends in Germany. I got my revenge and she is completely broken about how her dad treated her. She also lost every friend in her home country because everyone know what she did to me. Her family abandoned her, because she never even called and she called her mother names. It's probably because of the manipulation of entitled dad. And entitled dad is more than pissed about the €7,300 he'll never see. Thanks for reading and remember, look out for your money yourself, especially when you are lying and cheating butthole. What did you think? What would you have done differently? Share your opinions in the comments. And if you enjoyed the stories, slap that like and subscribe button for more of them, and don't forget to support the original writers with an upvote, links are in the description. Peace out, and catch you tomorrow.